What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And you know, people are all worried about AI coming to life, taking over the world. What we should be worried about is getting drowned in mountains of slabbed cardboard. We're going to be talking about that today. But first, I'm going to introduce my co-hosts. Don't worry, they put their deodorant on twice today. Joe Day and EP Eric Pahalik. How you doing, boys?
Actually, I did. That's weird.
I actually didn't put deodorant on today.
I actually did put mine on twice. I put it on and then I didn't remember I put it on and started to put it on again. So
Yep.
I do that with washing my hair. Sometimes, like in the morning, I'll wake up, I'll be in the shower, and I'll wash my hair, but then I'll forget I washed my hair. I'm like, did I wash my hair? And then I have to wash it again just in case.
Does that really qualify as washing hair when you have nothing on top of your head?
That's going to be EP about a year from now because there's no way he's starting his Tiki Barber collection between now and then. And he swore to God on his life that he would shave his head.
Oh, no. I mean, I definitely want to shave the head.
On a stack of Bibles, he swore that he would shave his head.
I was standing on Bibles and also I had my right hand on Bibles at the same time.
Yep. Exactly.
Wow. So how's it going, gentlemen? What's new and exciting, Joe?
I speaking of just mounds of cards, I've been like swimming my way Scrooge McDuck style through some Star Trek cards. Boys, if you did not watch the video, me going through that collection, that first collection I talked about a couple of weeks ago, nothing. This one, holy crap. It's gonna be crazy. I already got a few of my usual buyers coming in and snagging some stuff. So but I have so much fun going through that. And there's that's just the original series stuff he sent me and the next generation stuff. He's got the movies, he's got some of the mixed sets that he needs to send me out. There's just so much awesome stuff. So it's just kind of become almost like a full-time job that you really, really enjoy doing. So not my actual full-time job. And I've had a blast with it. Even Mike thought some of the cards were cool, and he doesn't like Star Trek at all.
I don't. I hate it, but they're cool. Yeah. Cool is cool. I have to respect the game that you're playing there with those cards.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, it's hard to argue the coolness of those cards for sure.
But that's it for me. I have nothing. I have nothing else going on.
I have a lot going on, so don't worry. I will take up half the podcast.
You'll cover us. Okay.
But first, EP, what's going on with you?
I wasn't able to go to the card show yesterday. I missed like the last several card shows, the one at the mall, and then the Shikellamy show, which is the Shikellamy School Boosters like fundraiser. Always a good show. Always a lot of dealers there, a lot of good people there. I just wasn't able to go. I have a little bit of a cold for some reason. My cold is back stronger than ever. It came back like on Wednesday this week or last week, and just been like hitting me pretty hard. Taking a little something for it. And I got a little something here for it that I'm going to also have.
Self-medicating
with some beverages.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I could even hear you drinking that. That's how good that must be.
It's so good. It's so good. I don't have any new card stuff going on. Like I've made some sales on eBay. Nothing major. A couple, $1 cards, $2 cards, a couple decent sales. We'll talk about those a little more on our Wednesday show, part of our Wednesday show. So tune in for that, please. And I guess that's it. Nothing exciting. I do have a 6 cards that I got back from PSA that I went in with my buddy Rob, my coworker Rob, and we went together on a PSA order. And I'm going to do a short video and just kind of go over why I sent them in, the grades I got, and what the values are. I think there's a short little video. So
and he's your coworker / friend, not your friend / coworker. So
I would say he's both. Like
no, war pick a side. I think it's
he's friend /friend. He's friend / coworker. Then we'll put it.
What was he first? Was he a coworker or a friend?
Well, he's a coworker because he started working at my job.
Coworker / friend.
Okay. Definitely coworker goes first.
I own a duplex in the city of Pittsburgh, and I rent it out to friends. But since now they pay me rent to live, I refer to them as tenants / friends, not friends / tenants. You gotta make that line of demarcation. And from what we've talked about in private about you and Rob's relationship, I know it's coworker / friend and not friend / coworker. So
that's not true at all.
I want to clear that up. Mike, you've seen the text. You know what I'm
Oh yeah, good thing I don't post the stuff that we say before we start recording.
It really is.
EP would have no friends if I ever did that.
Yeah, or coworkers.
Or coworkers. Very much true.
Really possible.
Yeah. EP mentioned it on Wednesday. We're gonna tell you what grinds our gears. Exciting show that we have lined up. Right up Joe and my alley here. EP, he's too nice of a guy, but maybe it'll be an Applebee's survey on there. I don't know. Maybe we'll
it's completely possible.
I have a lot to talk about, so this will be the Mike show today. I actually went to the card show on Saturday. EP, first of all, you need to get better. I really need you to get better because I am sick and tired of people asking me where EP is. Like I'm your owner or something. Like I'm supposed to keep tabs on what EP is doing at all times. I don't know. Like, stop asking me where EP is. Like, so get better soon.
Co-host / friend,
I will.
Not friend / co-host.
Exactly. Especially in this situation. But yeah, I walked into the show and our old buddy Troy, the fish, is right there. Right when you walk in. I walk over to say hi to him. It was like, hey, I have some wrestling cards you'll probably like. I'm like, of course you do. There's this box of wrestling sets. He has $500 on it, something. He's like, if you want them, $400 for you. I'm like, I don't even look at the sets. I pulled like one out, maybe two, and I'm like, okay, here, take my money. Can I sit them here so I don't have to carry this shoebox full of sets around with me? So he let me. But yeah, so right away, 30 seconds, I'm $400 down. I walk around. I go to the other dealer there. I should really know his name by now. The guy that sells
the wax
all the time. Yeah. I don't I really should know his name. We're very friendly with each other. He looking through his stuff. I'm thinking maybe I'll pick up some cheap stuff. And I see a box of 1998 Fleer Tradition football. I'm like, oh, that's 1998 football. So he had like $200 on that, which is a fair price. And I was looking at it, and he's like, I also have this box of 93 Bowman baseball. This has the Jeter rookie. I'm like, yeah, I know what it has. And I'm like, okay. So he got both those boxes for $250. It was a pretty good deal. I'm trying to figure out if the 98 football is worth like 200, like all the comps from early 2025 and before, or if it's $500, like the one comp in, I think, September, and the other ones for sale are like 600. So I don't know.
Yeah, someone saw that comp and raised. I guarantee you, they had those boxes listed for like 200. Saw that one comp and like, all right, time to jack these up. It's kind of like the Bert Emanuel rookies I was buying that all of a sudden on Comp C went from $1 card to a $12 card overnight. But yeah, I think
that seems really aggressive. I'm probably just going to keep it for my pack stack sales anyway, though, because he gave me a great deal on it. Then I can give the people who buy stuff. I can't find a lot of really good stuff, like 98 stuff or 2000 stuff is all expensive. So to find it at a good price, I can pass it on. So that'll be good.
People will be excited about that too. You'll make some good sales.
There's some cool stuff in there too. So I want to say one thing. I am already banging out one of my New Year's resolutions. I decided to just jump in head first. I am doing a weekly stack sale called Retro Wednesday on Twitter. So
what day of the week is that going to be?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Friday?
I haven't decided. I'll have to figure out where I get the most traffic. But yeah, Wednesday nights, every Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a stack sale, just smaller, not my huge. It's weird for me. My sales have gotten bigger and bigger, and I do these gigantic big events when I do them. So trying to get my brain to work in a way where I do a smaller one once a week is going to be the challenge, but already started working on cards. That baseball card collection I got a couple weeks ago, I have so many cards in there that will probably take up a month's worth of those sales alone. But yeah, I'm gonna check one off the list. Very first thing at the beginning of the year. Are you proud of me?
Nice. I gotta call bullshit a little bit here, Mike. I have a feeling that you had this already set up before our New Year's resolution show to set yourself up for success on the back end before you even announced it. Is that true?
What's wrong with that? If that's true, what's wrong with it?
That would be brilliant. I mean, wouldn't it? But no, I had an idea.
Okay.
But I had not decided that I was going to do it. But actually, it was kind of the reverse because I did it. We did the video and it was one of my resolutions.
Kind of pushed
I just decided, you know what? I'm just doing it. Stop thinking about it. Because if I wouldn't have done that, I feel like I would have just kept planning it in my head and, meticulously, figuring out the little details. I would have spent way too much time. I'm selling 50-cent and dollar cards on Twitter. Just stop, Mike. It doesn't everything doesn't have to be meticulously perfect, but that's what I would have done. So doing the resolution show made me decide, you know what, I'm doing it. Just stop thinking about it and do it. So
I also like that it's forcing you to think about things a little bit differently, and that because that opens up things for you when you're doing stuff too. So I like that they've already thought about that part of it too. So very, very cool.
And it's going to be the introduction of what I'm calling retro bingo.
Oh gosh!
Each night, one card is going to have an R behind it. One's going to have an E, a T, another R, and an O. And over the course of the sales, the first person to collect RETRO is going to get a pretty good prize. So I think that'll be fun for people to add that little twist to it. I have to figure out the prize.
You're going to write a marker, an R on the back of the cards.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'll just write it right on the card. That way there will be no confusion. But yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that's one of my big ideas there. Another idea I have out here is for you, the viewer. Now you have to do this. Stop what you're doing right now and go to the comments because one of the other resolutions we had as a channel is we want to add a fourth video every week. I almost said show. It's not a show. We're just going to do a fourth video. We already have some planned out. I might even have some already uploaded and scheduled for most of January, but we want to do a Q&A, and we need you to leave us some Q's in the comments so we can give you the A's. That'll be a special show. Yeah. We're not going to do it on the pod. We'll make it a special show. But any question about the hobby, I don't care if it's not about the hobby. Any question, anything you look at these three idiots that you're watching for whatever reason and thinking, I've always wondered this. Just put it down there. We'll probably answer it. So we don't have anything to hide.
We love Q's, and EP loves giving an A. So it'll be a great time.
I don't know what that means. I don't want to know either. If you have questions for us, please leave them in the comments. Even if you don't, stop the video and leave a comment and ask us a question anyway.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to. This needs to work both ways here.
Yeah.
I can't just be talking to a camera. Jesus Christ. Okay. I have one other thing because I'm me. God. I decided to take each of our pictures and I had AI analyze it I asked them, what cartoon character do we most look like?
Collectively or individually?
No, individually. I have three different answers for the three of us. I took screen caps of us from the podcast. So I didn't use any of my sexy publicity photos I have out there. I just used the regular podcast stuff here. And I want you guys to try to guess what each of your result was. Let us know down below too. Who are we?
I'm going to go with, I'm torn between Peter Griffin and the dad from what's that? Not what is the dad from American Dad? I'm torn between those two. I'm gonna go. I think Peter Griffin might be EP.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm gonna say Peter Griffin for me.
You are right. You came.
Am I really?
Peter Griffin. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
That means I can't be Peter Griffin.
You are not Peter Griffin. But
the son, Chris. Is it Chris the son? Yeah.
No, you're
He's
not.
not wearing
That's a
glasses.
good
Though.
guess.
He's not wearing glasses though.
Are you Lois?
I can't be Lois. No.
This is any cartoon character. So
Yeah.
It,
Don't get stuck on Family Guy, EP.
Joe looks like Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the chin.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank. Eeyore.
You are
Winnie
not
the Pooh?
Eeyore.
Winnie the Pooh.
Even though he doesn't wear glasses, the AI thinks you look like Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers. Oh, he needs
Yeah.
a mustache, though. He needs a mustache.
I know. I don't know
mustache.
where I got that one from.
Yeah.
No glasses, no mustache, but I think it's the hairline. So
Yeah.
maybe it's the headphones. So and mine you'll never guess, but the reasoning it gave for mine is kind of legitimate. Said I look like Kingpin because of my broad shoulders and my broad head.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that. Because if you look at you straight on, it looks
bald.
like you're bald.
Yeah.
It looks like you shave your head. So I can see that. And your beard being gray, maybe it's blending that color in there as well. So yeah, I can see Kingpin. That's not a bad one.
All right.
The broad head.
Broad head, broad shoulders. I can see that. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, there. I told you I had a lot for you at the top here. So let's get into it.
There it is.
I have a whole bunch of grading numbers for you. We're going to start with December's grading numbers, and then we're going to do the 2025 grading numbers, which is really the highlight of the story. But first of all, in December, PSA graded 1.83 million cards. We're closing in on 2 million. 615,000 sports and 1.21 million trading card game. CGC had 442,000, 48,000 sports, and 393 trading card games. Beckett graded 72,000 cards, 18,000 sports, and 53,000 trading card game. Our old friends at SGC graded that little boutique grader.
The boutique one. Okay.
Boutique one. Boutique grading had 41,000, 38,000 sports, and 3,000 trading card game. And I'm adding Tag is now on the list. They also graded 41,000, 2,000 sports cards, and 39,000 trading card games. So Tag is grading the same amount of cards as SGC. Does that make Tag a boutique grader? Or
I want to address this one first because a lot of Tag bots I saw took victory laps on social media about the fact that they have graded as much as SGC, and I don't think it's as big of a win as they want to mentally tell themselves, because if SGC had not turned boutique, let's just say, they'd not been bought by PSA, they would be probably around 100,000. Tag wouldn't make the list at 41. Tag wouldn't even be in the top 5. The only reason they're in the top 5 is you can't have SGC still in the top 5, dropping all the way down to 41 and then not include Tag. So Tag might have been grading 40-ish thousand this entire time, but it's only on the list for the first time because SGC dropped so far down. So everyone just calm down. I've never held one in my hand, but I actually like the look of the Tag slabs. I like how the grade and all the information is etched in there. I like how there's an etched in QR code. Apparently, like white backgrounds, they don't look as good, so you can't put them in a light box with the white background. But everything else, all the different color backgrounds, because of that clear slab all the way through, I actually really, really dig their slabs. That being said, let's calm down on the victory lap. You still only graded, again, only is relative, right? Only graded 41,000 cards 10 years ago. 41,000 cards, you're ruling the world, right? But now, the year of our Lord 2026, 41,000 cards is really not that much.
The two numbers that really stand out here are the 1.21 million TCG cards being graded by PSA, which that's outrageous. That's an outrageous number. But then also the 39,000 from a Tag. they're coming in pretty hot there. I mean, they're not quite to the BGS level, but I mean, they're coming.
They're close.
Like that's a pretty high number.
They will be at the BGS level once BGS goes boutique too.
Right. It feels like
they might be number 3. They might be number 3 in a couple of months.
Yeah, they seem positioned to move into it. So about that number there. The surprising thing is they only 3,000 for the TCG for SGC. It seems. I mean, it's just. I mean, I guess it does only because. Why not? Why aren't Koken people using them as well? Like, it just seems like odd that they are just skipping over them to use the other graders. So that's the one thing those things that really stood out to me.
That's right. Historically, though, SGC has always not graded TCG on sports. So for them, I actually did mark that down too. EP, the 38,000 in sports, they're the only company that's graded more sports than non-sports / TCG.
They are.
It's not. I mean, like them and Tag have graded the same numbers, but they're inverse. Like one graded way more TCG, almost exactly to the sports, and then reverse it for the other one. It's kind of wild to look at.
Is that SGC's niche? They're the sports card company.
They might be percentage wise.
They could have been. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it really kind of shows you how. Let's be real. Trading card games, Pokemon mostly, is propping up all the non-PSA grading companies. Like, you really wonder what happens if that ever cools off. But
what is that? 1.7 million for TCG between all the grading.
1.6, right around a little over 1.7. I want to give you the numbers for the year of 2025, though. These are interesting. PSA graded 19.26 million cards, up 26%. That was 7.71 million sports cards, which were down 15%, and 11.55 million trading card games, which was up 85%.
Wow.
CGC, imagine a world with no PSA. And then I said CGC graded 4.92 million cards in 2025, up 121%, 701,000 sports, which were up 152%, and 4.22 million trading card games, which was up 116%.
Wow.
Then we have BGS. BGS did 824,000 for the year, which was actually up 26%. They did 328,000 sports cards, which was pretty much even, and 496,000 trading card game, which was up 51%. Our old friends at SGC did 1.42 million, but remember, a lot of the year, like the second part of the year, they were no longer SGC and their numbers are going down. They were down 24%. They did 1.34 million sports, which were down 22%, and 77,000 trading card games, which was down 49%. And I have tag numbers for you. They did 440,000 cards in 2025, up 83%. 43,000 sports cards, which was down 7%. So the company's up 83%, but sports are down 7%. And 396,000 trading card games, which was up 105%. We're grading 26 plus million cards in a year between those companies. Pokemon.
Almost 20 of it.
Stop. As I have an order of Pokemon at PSA.
Right. I was going to say, you two are part of the problem. Yeah, almost 20 million by PSA. It's wild, though, as you go through this. So BGS was flat on sports, but they were up big percentage-wise in TCG. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised maybe if PSA was keeping track of that and knowing that they need to grade more and more TCG because the sports grading has plummeted for them. You know, we did a predictions episode a year ago, or I think it was a year ago at this point, and I said, grading's gonna crater. Again, if I would have just said sports card grading, if I would have specified that sports card grading was gonna crater, I would have been 100% right on that. but TCG is coming around, Pokemon is coming around, and they are picking up they're carrying the water for most of these companies at this point. And you have not just Pokemon, but you've got other ancillary ones. I know One Piece is picking up a lot of steam. You've got Magic and all those others. I mean, grading, people are just obsessed. And those people that went from grading sports cards and I'm guessing aren't able to make as much money on the flip are now going over to Pokemon. But then it's infecting Pokemon people because now they feel they need to grade. So you have these people that are just collectors. Oh, well, I'm out of it now if I'm not grading my Pokemon cards, instead of using it for, what it's supposed to be used for, a game, so it's wild. Those numbers are massive. And to see the drop in sports cards from PSA, that percentage drop is crazy.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too. Like, you think about it, at $20 a card. The sports cards are more than that, but $20 a card, 15% of 7 million or whatever, or around that amount, is a massive amount of money. But then on the flip side, 85% increase to 11 million on the trading card side. Like, that is just massive. It's so much bigger. Like, it's just like I can't. I'm sure the people have spreadsheets, and I'm sure they've been watching it all year. But like, that's just crazy. And then to be able to increase 116% and 105% for CGC and tag in the same, also in the TCG category, like, just phenomenal. Like, that's how are there that many cards out there to be able to be sent in? Like, when you think about the number
because
of cards,
people are grading base, they're not just grading. That's the problem.
Well,
not just with football, but I bet you they are grading things they shouldn't be grading in TCG too.
Well,
I mean,
TCG,
we
it's
talk
all
about
base.
that.
Yeah, and TCG it's all base, really. I mean, it's all part of the base set, even the foils and that sort of stuff, part of the base set. So if they are, but I mean, that's just, those numbers are just.
But I mean,
crazy.
They're grading beyond just the foil stuff, which you suspect should be graded, right? I'm guessing they're grading like just the base cards and whatever they're called.
Some of them, but also the number of Pokemon cards that are probably being printed right now. Like, we talk a lot about the new junk box era potentially here in sports cards, with the millions of cards that are put, the Topps flagship cards they're producing or whatever. But I mean, I guarantee you the Pokemon cards that are out there, like, for as much as we say we're going to be, alien civilization is going to find us and say what happened because all these slabs. Imagine all the Pokemon cards are going to find too, because I mean, there's a lot of those out there.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about GameStop and their involvement in all this. I mean, I'd love to see a breakdown of their numbers specifically for the year, since they've started to be like the biggest group submitter. You've even submitted cards through them at this point. The biggest group submitter in the country, right? I don't think it's even a question at this point who the biggest group submitter is. It's GameStop.
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like, there are almost 2-to-1 trading card games being graded over sports cards. Not quite, but it's getting close. Like, it's crazy. I don't know how it's sustainable. It just feels like it's something that just can't keep going the way that it's going. Which brings me to my next topic. Where is grading going? Having this information about how many cards are being graded, what kind of cards are being graded, like, is this sustainable? Like, grading cards was at one point in time because there was variation in the grades. So you wanted to make sure you got a good one. You wanted to make sure it was authentic. Nowadays, it's really just about how can you make a card worth more money. You're grading all these brand new cards, where grading originally wasn't about necessarily grading new cards. It was grading vintage cards and some older cards to make sure the condition was, supposed to be consistent in what you were buying. But it's a totally different thing now. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's a different thing. I have Pokemon cards at PSA. So what can I say? They're there to try to gain value. They're cards I don't even care about, and I put them there because I have the potential to increase value. And I'm not the only person that does that. That's what it's all about. It's all a game.
Most people are probably doing it that way.
It's probably 95% people who are just trying to increase an asset to be able to sell it for more than they would have, right? Am I wrong?
The P and PSA stands for Pokemon at this point, right? like what are we doing? I think what almost feels like the grossest part of this whole thing, though, is you have the folks that made a living on doing the sports card flip, now doing the Pokemon flip, and the only ones who are really hurt by this are people who just want to collect Pokemon cards, because now they can't find non-graded Pokemon cards. It's very difficult for them to do that. Anything with any sort of value is going to get graded by people who have no interest in the actual game of Pokemon. And that, for collectors being sucked into that, is, I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. Where's grading going? I mean, Pokemon has to be cognizant of what's going on with their cards, right? So if they know that there's the secondary market, they're going to start churning out things like it's Panini in 2020, right? They're going to start pumping out these products. They're
pretty good at doing what they do and not, because they sell enough of what they do print. So I don't feel like it's really much different now than it was in the late 90s, because stuff was really hard to get and like really hot back then too. So they can print more of it. That's the thing that like makes me wonder. The sports cards, you're like, next year you can print more, but Pokemon cards, if that set sold out and sold way more than you thought, you could just print more. They don't.
And they do.
Worse.
They have no problem doing that.
Right,
yeah,
right.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why, like, these numbers being their sustainability, like they're already printing way more than they were probably 10 years ago. And this, like, that's the difference though between a football card and a Pokemon card. They have a print run. They do that print run. They're on to the next set, where Pokemon is, oh, this is hot. We can keep printing it. So
and they don't like there's no demarcation that this is like the second printing, is there?
Not usually.
No.
Nope.
Which imagine if you're a sports card collector, imagine going out and buying a 1-of-1 card or a 5-of-5 or a 10-of-10 or whatever, a Tiger Stripe, and then knowing that Panini or Topps could just then print more of those. Right? That's what's going on with Pokemon, which is really dangerous. Like, how, when they make that second printing, how in the world does that not just crater the value of all the cards from that series? Because there's so much more. And so I guess the hope is you do that, you do the open grade sell before that second printing comes, because you are worried about it cratering. At least with comic books, when they did second printings, third printings, fourth printings, fifth printings, guess what they did? They marked them second, third, fourth, fifth. In some cases, the second printing or third printing is worth more because they printed less of them, which is kind of wild to think about. But with Pokemon, if they're not demarcating that these are not a first print or whatever, like, how do these cards hold value? And at some point, someone's got to wake up to it and say, oh, I'm not going to spend $100 on a card that they might re-release and I can get for $20, right? I mean, someone's got to smarten up to that, you would think.
Yeah, this is why you were talking about this looks like a bubble, like it's looking like it has all the characteristics of a bubble that's going to burst, because like even more so than even like the 1990s, like the early 1990s, the when all that happened, the Chuck Wax era, then, just because, I mean, these cards, as much, yes, rarity plays a part, but also the game meta, what cards are popular for people who are playing the game and people who are like care about the game, that also plays a part in pricing and what people getting excited about the cards. So when they reprint a set, like those cards will go down in value, but then once the meta comes back around and this certain character becomes important to the game, then all of a sudden those cards will go back in price a little bit. So that's that. But because it's not as driven by rarity, again, rarity does play a part, but it's not just as driven by rarity as by the other stuff. Like, there's going to be a lot of people, I think, who are going to be looking 20 years from now saying, why the heck did I buy this? Why the heck did I grade this kind of stuff with some of all these Pokemon cards, I think.
Yeah, it's driven more by current popularity than rarity. What do you think the impact of PSA having eliminated 2/3 of its major competitors by buying them out? I'm not buying their BGS is going to run independent. We saw what they did with SGC. It's all one company. It's going to impact that. what is that impact going to be? Is it going to let a company like Tag continue to grow? Is it just going to wipe out all the other companies eventually? What happens with collectors and PSA owning 80 some percent of the market right now?
I mean, I think at this point with eyes after the SGC, not so much after SGC, but the combination of the SGC purchase with now the BGS purchase, there are some eyes on this, right? So I think you mentioned this before, Mike. This was one of your things because CGC is basically an investment company owns CGC. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be outlandish to think PSA could just buy CGC because, hey, if the investors want to capitalize on this asset that they have, selling to PSA might be the best bet. But I think PSA might be a little scared off to do that because that actually would get, at that point, you own 90 whatever percent of the market share. Yeah. There's no way you could do that legally and get away with it, right? So I think CGC isn't going to go anywhere. Tag, though, is interesting because those two big companies, there are just some people who just don't like PSA, and there are some people who just don't like CGC and don't want to grade with PSA because PSA is even a bigger monster. So there is this opening. There is this this place in the market because BGS and SGC will continue to drop if they're even around a year from now. I mean, for all intents and purposes, SGC is dead. Okay. They might be officially dead within a year, or they might just be going down till it's one guy in a basement grading SGC. The
closet.
20 cards they get.
He works in the closet.
He works in the closet.
Charlie, he used to work for PSA. And
they had to fire him.
They had to send him to SGC. Yeah.
So, same thing with BGS a year from now. It could be the same thing. Where I think Tag has an interesting opportunity. The problem with Tag is, though, and I've said this before about AI grading, is if it is truly AI grading, right, you're not going to get as many 10s. I'd love to know what their 10 number is, like what their gem rate breakdown is. You're not going to get as many 10s, and people aren't going to grade with you if you don't get 10s. There's going to be those curmudgeon people who don't want to grade with the two big companies, and they'll grade with Tag just to grade with Tag. Maybe there's some people who love to just grade their cards for the display purposes. I think these cards behind me with the black background would look great in Tag slabs. Now, I'm not going to send them off to be graded, but I think they would look great in Tag slabs. So there are some people who would just want to do it for that purpose. So they have an interesting spot, but again, without having a good just let's give everyone 10s like PSA did for the longest time, I think Tag's going to have an issue really, really moving up beyond at best third place.
I think one of the other issues too, though, with Tag and then the AI grading is that people like the gambling aspect, right? They look at a card and say, well, this is a 9, but it could pull a 10, or this is if it's a really high end card, the Snake could pull a 9, maybe possibly a 10. That's why they send it to PSA because they know that the graders are. They're fallible. They're going to make a mistake sometimes in your favor, sometimes against you. So I really think that is that gambling aspect, that added gambling aspect, is part of the reason why people love to send a PSA because they only have a 9 and a 10, and that's so that they'll keep going there. As far as your question, Mike, about SGC and BGS, as much as I love SGC, I think the bigger question is BGS because I think more people historically sent TCG cards to BGS, right? I mean, we can tell by the numbers we just talked about that clearly right now that's the case. But I think even in the past, BGS was kind of the one that people sent their cards to. If they
and regular non-sports too, as
right,
well.
Right.
People really enjoyed sending those to BGS as well.
Right. So I think that's the bigger deal as far as that's concerned. I think that's bad news. And I CGC, I really hope they make a push and can maybe not compete with PSA, but get strongly in the second place because I think they're probably the best poised.
5 million cards.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot of cards.
But it's still a quarter of what PSA rated.
But I did look on the gem rate post too, and they didn't have gem rate numbers for Tag. They had them for everybody but Tag. So we don't have that. But speaking of Tag, the future grading, I'm not saying Tag's the future of grading, but is AI going to be a thing, do you think, in the grading world? I have thoughts, but I want to hear your thoughts.
So I think it could be. So the whole thing with AI, right, is that it just basically takes what humans did, brings it into like their algorithm, and then basically mimic what humans do
Mhm.
potentially. So with everything throughout history being automated eventually. Remember in Detroit, it was one of the biggest cities in the world because there were people with hammers and putting cars together by hand, right? That got not it got automated, not AI, but it got automated, robotics and things like that. All the way to now, I think if PSA can find a way that they can take AI with the basically using the human element of it, the algorithm sucking in all the how the humans grade and use that way and save themselves labor dollars, absolutely. If they can figure out a way to basically bump up like okay, the algorithm says a human would probably grade this an 8.7. Well, that's a 9 then. So, they put into their little program, if it's close, bump it up, and then, they can get the up charges, they can make people happy. If they can do that, if they can find a way to do that, because again, at the end of the day, these are billion-dollar companies who just want to make more money. That is their goal. It's not to help collectors. It's not to make sure your card's real. They don't give a shit. They just want to make more money. If their way to make more money is to get rid of the humans that they have to pay health insurance for, they have to send salaries for, they have to give vacation time, lunches, all those things, guess what they're going to do? They're going to find a way not to do that. So, yes, in terms of grading, if they can put the human element of giving those grade bumps, so an 8.75, which is probably what this card should grade, well, we'll call it a 9, right? If they can make it that, yes, AI grading will be here sooner than we probably hope. And it probably won't even be much more accurate because, again, they're taking the human component and putting that into the algorithm. And then they probably won't just leave it with that number. They'll probably do the human component where they bump up the card, bump up or down the card, depending on the day.
Yeah, Joe, I would argue that PSA is probably already using AI in some regard, just because they're look at the number of cards they're grading. Like if it's just a cursory first step, maybe it's just to figure out the centering or something like that, or to get a photo for some of the edges, that sort of stuff. But I really wouldn't be surprised at all if they're already using that kind of thing. We just don't know about it. Just because how do you grade a card in 30 seconds or like a couple minutes or whatever, 2 minutes, like to grade that many numbers of cards, and clearly they're having issues getting stuff out the door anyway. I guarantee you they're probably using it in some regard, maybe not as much. And for as much as I was saying earlier about the tag being all AI and being an issue with the gambling aspect, like there are dials on all these things, right? So you could be a little bit easier on the edges, be a little easier on the corners, be a little bit easier on the centering, and they can probably make it so sometimes what's a 9 can be a 10, and I could see them putting some variability in there into that process to kind of goose their numbers a little bit, possibly.
And yeah, Joe, you hit my thoughts on this exactly. Here's the thing. We have been very consistent on this channel that people don't want accurately graded cards. They want 10s. And when you think AI, you think, oh, accurate grading. But it's not. AI is just a vehicle of what it's learning from. Remember a little while back, PSA bought an AI company, something that had to do with AI. What the large language model could be learning from, if they scanned every single card that they grade, and now it has a photo of a card to compare to what their grader graded it. And you're doing 20 million cards in a year, that AI can learn what a PSA grader would grade it very quickly. And you're right. They're a company who clearly likes to make money. And if they can not hire more people, maybe get rid of people and have AI do the same work they're doing that they learned off of the work the actual people do, it's disgusting, but this is what big companies do. And this is why they make more and more money. It's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. The AI is going to replace graders at PSA at some point because they'll make way more money doing that than paying all these people to do it.
And beyond that, they'll grade more cards.
Yeah.
Like,
And
what's it take the AI program to grade a card? It takes a human 30 seconds. What's it going to take? It literally is just the human. Probably they would need the human to stick the card in the scanner. And that, every 2 seconds, it's just boom, 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 boom. It's putting a card through. I mean, it's not just saving the money for not having as many actual human graders. It's the time aspect of it as well. And we call, what do we call fanatics? We call them Galactus. We call PSA Thanos or whatever. AI grading is the new Ultron. Ultron learned that the human race is terrible. It didn't take it long either. And it went in and tried to kill every human because that just made sense to Ultron, the AI. I think the same thing is happening with PSA. I mean, if they get an AI in there, it's going to learn how to grade like humans do and just do that job. Like it seems almost, it would be crazy for PSA not to do it. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I guarantee you they are training AI on the work of their employees on every single card now. And at some point it's going to be announced and it'll happen. I guarantee you. Don't know when, but they just have so much data there for it to learn from. They have way more than any other company. 20 million cards in
or it's
year.
never announced, Mike. Or it's never announced.
Or never.
Right.
Yeah.
And they might be doing it now. We don't know. And all their graders, all their employees are signing NDAs. So we have no idea. They could be using AI now. They are grading. They graded 20 million cards last year. Right? Like, so unless their graders are wearing diapers and not taking bathroom breaks or eating lunch, I mean, 20 million cards is a lot of freaking cards. And it's grown throughout the year.
Joe, use your calculator. What's that? What is that?
That's
a lot.
Too many. That's too many cards. It's saying in my calculator.
Oh, wow.
My AI calculator just told me too many cards.
Okay, so to wrap this up, here's a question for you. If grading disappeared tomorrow, what would happen to this hobby?
Oh my God, it would flatline. Like I can't imagine the absolute like panic where if grading was no longer a thing, the panic of people who have put money into a card that is normally worth $5, but because there's a label on it that says 10, that it's a PSA 10 or whatever, it's now worth $500 or whatever the case might be. I can't imagine the absolute panic. Just to put it in Star Trek terms, because I have been getting a lot of Star Trek cards in. There is card number 1 from the 1967 set is pretty valuable, right? Because it was the first card, people put rubber bands around it, all this and that. So my buddy said, "Oh, I have a couple of the Balance of Terror card number 1. I'll send them of course he does. I'll send them to you to sell." And I looked, raw, they're not really actually worth that much. It's a $10 card. PSA 8's like a $3,000 card. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So like when there's a difference between one card that looks fine, it's just in a sleeve and top loader, versus a card in a slab, that's absolutely crazy. It would destroy the economy of the hobby. Period.
It would, but I mean, in some regards, would that be such a terrible thing?
Like
you would expect like box prices, like it would take some time, but the box prices are going to come down. Breakers are going to be leaving. Like it would be complete anarchy for a while, but in a lot of regards, it would be like a reset that kind of like people like us think the hobby needs, right? So that's where I'm at with it. I would think that would kind of be like a nice reset for everybody if grading kind of went away. As much as I like to grade cards to increase their values,
I was going to say, says the guy who grades the most out of all of us.
Really?
I wouldn't say that. I still think Mike has more than me, but I've graded quite a few cards. So.
Mr. Optimistic down there that thinks nuking the entire hobby would be a good reset. Come on. Yeah, it goes a little bit farther than a reset. All right. Well, I have a couple products I want to talk about here. Then we'll get into some of our predictions for the upcoming year for the hobby. First one, I don't know if you guys remember because it was so long ago, back in April of 2025, WWE held an event called WrestleMania. And they had little patches, WrestleMania patches everybody who performed had one. They wore it. I can't wait to see Seth Rollins' flamethrower worn, because he had his on a flamethrower, not on his costume. But they finally showed the cards that they're making with these beautiful cards, look just like Flawless. I mean, I don't know how many ways you can make cards like that, but I digress. They're going to be coming out in, I believe, 2025 Topps Royalty WWE. I have no idea. No, it says 2025, but it's 2026.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much it's going to cost, but the UFC royalty boxes cost $900 a box. I'm afraid WWE is probably going to be more.
Oh, yeah.
But that's where you're going to be able to get these. They're not putting them, as far as I know, in Topps Chrome or anything accessible to the normal collector. What are we doing? Like, I know what we're doing. This is what they do. I understand it. I don't like it, but this is what they do. It'll sell out. People will buy it. It'll make money. But
breakers will be all over this.
All over.
Left serial number, right serial number, whatever.
They'll sell 3 boxes through the website to collectors. And
can I use one of my bold predictions to answer this?
No.
Or should I hold back? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll wait.
Because we have a segment for the prediction.
I was going to ask the same thing, actually.
Yeah. So I actually love these cards. I think they look amazing. I think they do. I can appreciate a card, just like Mike with Star Trek. I don't like Topps. I don't. But I can appreciate when they make some really nice cards. The debut patch cards, really nice cards. They're beautiful cards. They really are. These cards. Now, I'm guessing like EP, because you don't really love like the white background, the flawless of it all. You probably don't like them, but I think
they're okay.
These in and of itself, I think they're. I'm more of like, I always liked SP probably more than you did EP back in the day. Like I like that clean, that clean style white background card. I think they look beautiful. I just wish they would have actually done what they did before and make them for a more accessible product. Put them in Topps. Maybe do what Panini did with I've talked about those Super Bowl cards where they were just across all the different sets. They were these random autos. They didn't look anything like the set that they were coming out of, but Panini just threw them out there as like almost like a bonus auto. They were rare. You didn't usually get one, but when you did, it's like, oh, wow, what is a Super Bowl 32 card that's autographed by whoever was in Super Bowl 32? But like, I think that would have been more fun, kind of like oh shit, I just pulled one of these really rare cards out of a box of Topps Chrome, which is cheaper than this product is going to be, right? So while I love the design, I love the idea of them, I just don't like how you have to be rich. You have to be rich to have a chance at this, or you have to spend the equivalent of several boxes in a break to potentially even have a shot to hit one of them.
Yeah, I mean, great points, Joe. Imagine the pop they would have gotten if they would have said, showed this card and said, this is coming out in Topps WWE flagship, 2026 flagship, like a flagship type product,
or at least Chrome.
Okay, sure, but I mean, like, imagine if they did like a flagship product of WWE, which Topps hasn't done one of those in how long, and to do something like that would get a huge pop because those boxes are going to be affordable, and so literally everybody in the hobby would have I mean, maybe not in the secondary market because those boxes would go crazy, but in theory, they'd be a lot more accessible to everybody, and they'd introduce this product that they've done nothing with this Topps license, right, Mike? Since they got
very
it.
Little.
Yeah, I mean, little. So they give us flagship with your boy in it, actually a product with your boy in it, hopefully, finally, and then so I mean, like, I feel like that was not a huge missed opportunity for them. Like like putting it in that product just has me so worried. I mean, we're already worried about so many things, but I mean, you think about any sort of special patch you're going to do from now on is going to go into a product like a royalty instead of in a product that one of us can buy, and that's really frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, as a wrestling collector, I've been out. Like, the guy I collect hasn't even been in a checklist. They did Topps Chrome, they did Chrome Sapphire, they did Chrome Cactus Jack, they did Finest, and they have a set called WWE Universe coming out, and then the WWE Royalty. So that's 6 maybe for the whole year. I might have missed one in there, but this is one of the problems I'm worried about with Fanatics doing everything is the lesser stuff aren't going to get as many sets. I feel like Panini was putting out more sets than Topps is for wrestling. They've done very little with it. Again, these cards were born in April of 2025 and they're just coming out. But you have the MLB debut patch in Topps Chrome baseball. Why you're not putting it in Topps Chrome for wrestling? I know why, because you're going to make a ton of money off it, but I don't want to. I would, even if this was like $1,000 a box, I would consider buying a box if I could get one. I'm not even going to be able to get one because it's all going to go to breakers. Like, let's be real. It's a breaker product and won't be available even to people who might be willing to pay that money just to have one. I won't get a chance. That's the frustrating part of this hobby.
And the price on the secondary market is going to be 2,000, right? Like, it's going to go up to like 2,000 or more. Yeah. I mean, 2,500.
And if you add up all the different spots at the break, like, I don't know how many wrestlers are going to be in this product, but it's going to be probably pick your wrestler, right? So, and they're going to charge a ridiculous amount per wrestler. You know, Cody Rhodes is going to be massive, you know, very costly. Cena and all those guys, all the way down. And by the time it's maybe it's $1,000 the breaker, they're going to make $3,000 on the break of an individual box.
Well, speaking of individual boxes, Topps is also coming out with Stranger Things. We saw that you get one pack of 10 cards per box, one auto and one relic per box, $300 a box. It's sold out like that. I mean, perfect timing. They knew what they were doing. This is a great job. I originally saw the price and I was like, oh, but really all you're doing is kind of getting rid of all the base cards that people with non-sports. I feel like it's a little more important to have those to build a set, but they're just kind of doing like a Breaker's Delight style of this and just having the 10 cards you get for an autograph and a mem, not or, it's and. I've kind of come around that maybe 300 wasn't that bad, and clearly it wasn't because it sold out, and I think they're selling for like twice that much. But thoughts on this for one pack?
I'm going to reserve some of my thoughts for Wednesday.
Okay, fair enough.
A little teaser there. So what'd you say they were $300 a pack? Like, as a non-sports collector, primarily, I like the base sets. I always have. I always will. So I don't think non-sports collectors are collecting this. Though Stranger Things did come out right around when the boom was happening, like originally when it came out. So maybe the people like Dustin, the sports card dad, loves Stranger Things. I doubt he's putting together a base set. Maybe I'm wrong. Or he cares about a base set. I could be wrong. Dustin, correct me if I am. But like, I think the people who buy Topps non-sports, and I'm painting with a broad brush here, I think the people that buy Topps non-sports products probably don't care about base sets as much. They care about getting those big dual auto hits or getting the relic auto or whatever. I think they care more about that. It was perfect timing. They probably could have charged more for it, seeing what it's going for in the secondary market. So maybe they showed some restraint. Who knows? But yeah, like on its face, $300 is cheaper than a lot of the other products you could get. Breaker's Delight, Marvel, what do they call it? Marvel Studios, I think was like $700-800 a box. Now, I think we've talked about this offline a little bit. I think that product has legs for the next 10 years, where I don't know if Stranger Things does. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, $300 a box doesn't offend me, which tells you something about the state we're in this hobby, that 300 is like, holy shit, what a deal, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a deal, but $300 to me also, I mean, it is at the level where it probably should be in the hobby right now for a product like this, where you're guaranteed an auto and guaranteed a mem card. I would love to also see more base. To your point about the 10 years from now, Joe, I think it's going to hold up. I think this is the most popular Netflix series ever, I believe. And I believe in 10 years, they're going to do a reunion. And they're also already have like in the works for like a cartoon and a spinoff and all this sort of stuff. So I think Stranger Things will still be around, still be relevant. I don't know if these cards necessarily will be relevant. I don't know what the checklist looks like, because like we've seen so many products.
That's the biggest problem. look at Marvel Studios autograph
Right.
checklist, and
Right.
on its face, it looks amazing. And then you start looking at some of the breaks, and you're like, oh, this guy played a random character in Iron Man 3. Cool. I got his autograph. So if that's the autograph you get for $300
Right.
a box,
Yeah.
you're not going to be too happy about it.
The thing too that long term worries me about products like this are none of these actors are popular in anything other than Stranger Things.
Right.
Which
Except for the dad. What's the dad's name? David Harbour is his real name.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well,
like he's about, and what's her name? The mom.
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder. Those two, but the kids themselves, not really.
Well, I mean, the Sadie Sink who plays Max, she's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. So there might be,
that will depend. Like
if
they become popular in other movies and become big stars, this will be a great product. If they're really only ever truly known for being in Stranger Things, it could hold it back a bit. But
definitely,
I don't know. I don't have any. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. But since we're predicting what's going to happen in the future, let's finish up the show this week with some predictions for the hobby for 2026. We know everything that's going to happen. We've already been given the sheet. This is all predetermined. We're like the WWE here. We already know what's going to happen this year, but we'll act like we don't. Let's throw some. I only have one. I don't know how many you guys have.
I have two, but I feel like it might cross over with Joe. So we'll see what happens here.
So I have one big one. If we all did like a couple times around the horn, I could probably do a second one. My big one is, and maybe it's not exactly for 2026, but you'll start to see it coming in 2026, and then by 2027 and the future, it will probably come to fruition. Flagship's dead. There will be no more Flagship. Wow. Why would they waste their time and printing on Flagship? What do they charge for a box of Flagship? Just a regular hobby box. 130. Why waste the printers when you can make chrome on those printers and charge like $500 a box or more? I think they've already. Don't interrupt me.
I know. I was like
Mr. Rose-colored glasses down here.
No.
They've already deleted a bunch of their low-end products. And we always say, well, Flagship's that loss leader, right? It's okay that they don't make as much money on that because it gets word of the product out. Do we really think they care? Do we really think they care about that? Like, I think they're going to look at Flagship and just look at its wasting space on the printers. And eventually it's going to go to all chrome-based style products, or the royalty, or, the SP style, the white background, the fancy flawless-esque products. It's going to be chrome, and that's it. Flagship will be dead.
I hope cooler heads prevail in this case, but I could totally see this happening. There would be a riot among collectors, but it wouldn't be a riot. It wouldn't be a riot from the people that matter, though, because the breakers would not riot. Like the people that Topps cares about now, they wouldn't care about the rioters, and so that would, it'd be upsetting, but I could totally see it happening for sure.
They are selling a ton of it, though. So even though you can sell Topps Chrome for more, you can print 10 times as much Flagship and people still buy it. So I kind of feel.
But can't you stop printing that, print 10 times more Chrome and charge more? Like when you free up the printers? I don't know. Like, I get what you're saying, Mike, but
I don't think
$100 box, then it is still like a $600 box, though.
Yeah, you're not going to sell 10 times as many boxes at $500-600 as you are at a little over 100. So I don't think
wouldn't be forced to buy it. The breakers wouldn't be forced to buy it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I
hope I'm wrong. I
hope you're wrong too.
But I hope I'm wrong.
My script here says that that's not in the cards. Maybe 2027.
Was right about everything.
Hey,
where's my hat?
Go big.
Yeah.
EP, what's your big prediction for 2026?
The FTC will take a look at the collectors, or the purchase of PSA's purchase of BGS.
Oh, you think
not necessarily SGC? I think maybe the investigation doesn't start this year, but the rumblings start and it says, okay, we're gonna have to do an investigation like next year, something like that. But I think the FTC really starts to take a look, and that is the beginning of the regulation of the hobby.
Wow, that would be huge.
Yeah.
And I know people hate me for it, but I'm here for it. I want some regulation. I don't want too much, but I just want to make sure that any bad stuff that's being manipulated to take money out of our pockets is known. Like, that's all I want. Is that too much to ask for?
You know, we were talking about some other stuff before we started recording, and I said something that I think is appropriate here as well. You know, we don't make and enforce laws for the best of us. We make them for the worst of us. And there are a lot of worsts of us in this hobby at this point. So these laws that are on the books that we should be using should be used. I'm with you, Mike, as well. And EP, I'm assuming you feel the same. I bring on regulation.
Yeah,
absolutely bring on regulation. We can't regulate ourselves. We've proven that. And when you have like a handful of billionaires running something, chances are they're probably not doing it on the up and up. So
creating money out of nowhere.
Thin air.
Yeah.
They are creating money by running printing presses and putting pieces of cardboard and pieces of plastic. Like, that is not, first off, it's not sustainable, but all it does when you don't have regulation is screw over actual hobbyists, actual collectors. You're not screwing over the people making the money. Believe me, they'll be just fine. You're screwing over folks that just want to collect cards.
Did you have a second prediction, EP?
I do. You want me to say that now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My second one is that Topps Ascension, which is what I called it last week. The Topps, the whatever the trademark is they're looking for. Topps Ascension is as expensive as Mercury and sets a new standard for high-end Topps products in quality, hype, and price.
I thought you said bold prediction.
Yeah.
That feels very lukewarm.
Okay.
But
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's they're not going to leave money on the table. That kind of ties into to my first one. It just, if they have an opportunity to make more money somehow, they're going to take it. And something like that, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if, we look at cases of Flawless and go, remember those days when we could buy a case of Flawless for X amount of dollars? Weren't those nice? Weren't those the good old days? Yeah,
their R&D has to be working on something, right? Like their R&D is not working on inserts for Topps Chrome or anything like that. They got to be working on something. So hopefully it's whatever this product is.
The state of the hobby right now, they are going to continue to push the envelope until they find a spot where people finally go, no. They paid a hell of a lot of money. Like, that's the one thing you can't forget is how when Fanatics got the license, they came in and they blew it out of the water any amount of money that was paid for these before. So they're clearly, yes, they're business. They're here to monetize it. They're here to make as much money as they can. And I do think that they're going to have a high-end product. And then if it's the highest one they've ever done and it does well, they're going to push one out that's even higher. I mean, that's just normal. And I think that progression will probably, and because of breaking, it's probably going to work.
And they were selling Mercury for, what was it, $8,000 a box, I believe. Yeah. And that was with no logos.
Yeah.
That was when it was unlicensed. So whatever their licensed stuff, well, they had dual autographs and stuff like that. But, still, I mean, it was based around one player with no logos or anything like that. And as you were talking, Mike, it kind of made me think maybe my lukewarm version of my prediction is that whatever you've paid for flagship in the past, double it. Or they'll stop
I could see that.
Like, that's one or the other. Either they're going to stop making it because they can print off Chrome, or double, maybe even triple the price of it. I can't wait to see what flagship football is going to go for per box.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know. I guarantee you, this is not a prediction, but we're going to see a $20,000 box of cards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Was Eminence? What did Eminence NBA go for? The last product that Panini did?
I don't even know. Maybe that was already, wasn't that?
That was pretty high. That was I think that was five figures, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, I'm going to give a little. Do you have any other predictions, Joe, that you want to share before I go to mine? Okay.
Nope.
I'm going to give you Neo's prediction because I watched the Neo video. Then I'll give you mine.
Okay.
He predicted that Fanatics is going to be getting into trading card games and have a new game. He actually did. It was a good video. He had looked at the job listings, which he said he does randomly here and there, and they had a whole bunch of trading card game openings that they were hiring for. So that is interesting, and I feel like he's probably onto something there, because like his point he was making was they're looking at Pokemon and seeing how much money they're making. They're absolutely thinking, oh, how do we get a piece of that pie?
Yeah. So, to that point, I mean, Fanatics, I'm sure, is looking at the grading numbers and seeing how popular Pokemon is. Not even just like how much they print and how much they make off that, but the popularity of it is surpassing sports cards in the grading market. I think grading is a good barometer of where the hobby is. You know, if more stuff is getting graded, that's clearly the more popular thing. So yeah, they have the IPs to do it too. They could do a Star Wars one. They could do a Marvel one. They could do a Disney one. They have those IPs that would be interesting.
There's already a Disney one. Remember, it's the biggest game.
It's the biggest game. It's going to exceed.
Yeah.
But by the way, if you don't think Jeff Wilson doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, there you go.
Let's stop with the Will Greer thing, because the Lorcana thing was,
I think that's
way more off.
Especially as Kyler Murray looks worse and worse every year. Yeah. I think the Will Greer thing is not as bad as his Lorcana prediction. Yeah.
Okay, my prediction is I think you're going to see Topps print a Pokemon set in 2026. Okay. It's going to be Topps Chrome Pokemon.
Yep.
And it is going to be it is going to be the most ridiculously hyped set and popular set that they have ever put out. Period. Full stop.
I thought you said bold predict. No. What are these UNEP giving these lukewarm predictions? That's gonna happen, Mike. You're 100% right. 100%.
They have not printed Pokemon. They're not printing the trading card game. That's a different thing. They're gonna print trading cards. Back in the 90s, when Pokemon was hot, Topps had the Pokemon trading card license. They did it for TV shows and movies. They're going to do the same thing. The Topps Chrome from, I believe it's 99. You should look up the price of that sometime. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking this might surpass that, though. This is going to be like the popularity of V-Friends, which is really, I understand there are some people that like that, but it's not Pokemon. You're doing that with Pokemon. This is going to be the craziest set they ever put out. And I'm all part of me is like really excited to see how insane people are going to be and see what they charge and what people are going to pay that don't get it. It's going to be over $1,000 a box, right?
Mm-hmm. It's one of those situations.
It'll be it'll be like 600 or 700 from Topps. They'll release like 2 boxes, and then it'll be way over $1,000 on the secondary market before it even comes out.
It's one of those situations where we have some channel money, right, put aside, and we have, like Mike, I think you have some sealed, was it Disney stuff that we've kept. We open up that case of Batman metal. That's one of those things where I would be like, yeah, we should probably try and get into the queue as a channel.
We'll buy get 2 packs of those of it.
Yeah. I was joking
Complete
about
all of our funds.
I was joking. I was joking at the top saying I was told bold predictions, boys. That's what Mike said. And that I think this is the most probably gonna happen thing. Like I don't see a world where it doesn't. Pokemon is so wildly valuable. I assume that Fanatics still have the license for the non TCG game, or would they have to go and buy?
They haven't had that for quite a while. So I hope Pokemon really takes advantage of them in the licensing.
Yes. But if Pokemon does,
good at that though.
But if Pokemon does take advantage of Fanatics, who Fanatics is going to take advantage of to recoup that money. It's going to be the collectors, right?
Yeah, so they're going to do it anyway. Yeah.
If they did this set, I think you're spot on, Mike, that it would have the biggest hype machine ever behind it. Like this would be, I think it was you that talked about SpongeBob and how popular that was, and how it was one of the greatest products of last year. I think was one of the awards you gave out, and I 100% agree. And I think Pokemon would surpass that in leaps and bounds.
They could print more boxes of Topps Chrome Pokemon than they do base Topps basketball or baseball and sell it all out.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Just turn the printing presses for a full month onto 2 months for a one.
You know how they could do that? You know how they could do that? Stop printing flagship, baby.
There you go.
I got two words for you guys. Parallel possibilities. Just think about it. The Pikachu refractors, so the logo refractors, they got the Pikachu's super refractors.
God, yeah.
You think about the cool thing, they could get some of the autographs of like some of the creators. That'd be kind of cool if they had some of that in there. We'll see how much effort they put into it, but I mean, there's potential for. I mean, they could do insert sets. Like there could be a lot of really cool stuff here. Hopefully they do it right. And depending on what the price is,
they won't do it right. EP, the inserts are going to stock.
Chrome.
It's going to be Chrome. And they're not going to pay for anything beyond the actual IP. You were talking about the parallel possibilities. Look at the Marvel Studios parallels. You've got Agatha Prism. You've got Captain America Prism. You've got Loki Prism. You've got on and on and on. The Marvel logo Prism. Or Hollow or whatever they call them in Topps now. But like you have refractors. You have like a bunch of different character refractors. So to your point, EP, you said Pokemon. They'll have a Pokemon refractor, a Charizard refractor. They'll have these different parallels, and they're all different numbered, and they'll sneak them all into a product. Oh, these are really super short print rare. No, there's like 1,000 different parallels for them.
The Pikachu Superfractor will be $1 million plus card.
Yep,
I said it. There it is.
Yep.
Charizard probably will be too.
Yeah.
Yep, and maybe others.
Snorlax.
Blastoise, Snorlax. Yeah. Yep. Mewtwo.
All right. Well, there you got it. I don't think I have anything else to get to this week. I do.
Questions down below.
Wants to do that. Questions. Give us questions if you're still
and your
watching.
bold predictions.
And your bold. Now, just say whatever you want to. EP will reply to every single comment.
And if he doesn't, he will shave his head.
I didn't agree to that. Nope.
All right, guys. That was a pretty good chat this week, and I will see you next week. Take care, boys.
The fuck. See you, kids.
Adios.